What is up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 74 of Think Twice, the magic and pop culture show hosted by me, Justin Parnell, and my almost $10,000 Cube champion, Ali Aintrazi.
Almost.
Not quite.
I got a more important question, though.
Okay.
So I was with you this weekend. Plus, we got snowed in, so I spent another day with you.
Yeah, bonus day.
Yep, and I had taken Maggie, my dog, with me.
Yes.
So, how bad do you and Meredith miss Maggie?
You want me to be real?
Yes.
Meredith cried yesterday.
Are you serious?
Yep. She cried.
Oh my gosh.
She just started crying when we were going to work, and I was like, what's wrong? And she was just like, I miss Maggie. And she was like legitimately crying. Like, not like fake crying, like I just did.
Oh my gosh. Now I feel bad. Because I was making a joke.
Yeah. She was
So
like,
now,
Ali and Choi are fine, but I really miss Maggie.
So I'll have to come visit more often and bring Maggie then.
Oh yeah, she was like, I mean, Maggie loved Meredith.
Oh, I know. There were times where we were on the table. She'd come to me and like jump up for a little bit, then jump down and go to Meredith and sit on her lap.
Yeah. Yeah, they loved each other.
She loved Meredith. Meredith took her to the park, the dog park. She was probably like, oh yeah, dog park.
She took naps with her. They snuggled a lot.
Yeah, she also didn't yell at her if she had an accident or anything. And
no, she just cleaned it up and told her that she was perfect.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
She's actually running around like crazy earlier today, going in every room, looking. And I thought she was just like being hyper, but maybe she was looking for you and Meredith.
Oh. Well, we really enjoyed having Maggie come visit, and of course you and Director Che as well.
And it's okay. I get it. Maggie is definitely
yeah.
She's like tier 1. We're tier 2.
Yeah, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with being tier 2.
No, I mean it's hard to compete with a cute dog.
One of the cutest dogs, not just a regular cute dog. Like super cute.
Yeah, and she's like super loving too. She's like
she is.
Yeah.
She loves everyone. She's never met a stranger.
No, she hasn't, which is kind of scary.
So, but last week before, as some of you know, SCGCON was cut short due to 16 inches of snow being dropped on top of Roanoke, Virginia's head.
I'm not sure how they didn't see that coming with SCGCON Winter.
And we did name it Winter, yeah, and I think we paid for that. I think we paid for it. We're actually renaming the one in June to SCGCON 72 degrees every day.
Okay, nice. I like that.
Yeah. We learned our lesson. Yeah. So all of the public events were canceled on Sunday. Now, we still did the Invitational Top 8 and we still did the Cube Top 8, which we'll get to in a second. But before that, a lot of you, we met with a lot of you this weekend to talk with you, and we were going to ask, we were asking people question of the week style questions, and we got a handful of those, but we didn't quite get enough. So what we're actually going to be doing is, if you are a Patreon supporter at any tier level, including the $1 Augur Bolus tier, and you have access to the Discord channel, we're actually going to be asking everyone in the Discord those questions. And when we have our our holiday show where we go over those questions, we're going to be getting all of your responses, and we'll read those essentially live on air. And we're going to try to get Director Che to compile those for us, so maybe we don't read them, and maybe we can get our reactions as we read those out loud. We're also going to give you guys a chance to ask us questions. You can ask us any question you want. You can be magic, it can be not magic, it can be a combination of both, whatever you want. So look for that coming soon, probably within the next week or maybe over the next week. But we appreciate everyone that came out to SCGCON, that chatted with us. We also want to give specifically a special shout out to William Johnson, who gifted us a beautiful copy of the Meg.
Yeah.
Which we took a picture of. Ollie looks really happy in the picture.
Yeah. No, but Meg aside, William's great. He came in wearing a custom Thinktwice T-shirt that he made himself.
Yep.
And then gave us a gift. And the gift, so the gift was a blue and green bag with
Thinktwice
blue
colors.
and green. Yep, with blue and green, like not confetti, paper wrap. What's it called?
It's
wrapping
just
paper.
Wrapping paper, tissue paper, essentially.
Tissue paper. Yes, that was also blue green, and then it was packaged in a blue green gift box. It was just like, obviously, like this was thought through. The gift was thought through because it was the Meg, and
which we loved, our favorite movie of the year, which we've talked about. But I don't want to interrupt you anymore. Keep
don't
going.
speak for stop. Don't speak for me. And then he, like, what was I going to say? Let's try to thought, Parnell.
Yeah,
so basically,
I'm just saying that's not on me.
I'm just saying he put a lot of dedication and like thought into his gift. It wasn't like, and it wasn't like extravagant, but it was, you could tell there was like, it came from the heart, and that was awesome. So
did and in response to that, Ali made the promise out loud in front of everyone that he promised that every time we would together, we would watch that copy of the Meg. And you said that in front of everyone, and we all were witnesses. So
can we get cricket noises?
No. Well, who would be doing the crickets? The Meg is a shark. You're familiar. You've seen the movie.
Our director, John Che.
Yeah, he was a witness to you saying this. So he was. I mean, he was there. William was there.
This.
Other people were there. No, you said it.
No, I didn't.
I think you did.
Oh my god.
Well, we'll let the people decide whether you said it or didn't say it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Anyway, but we just want to thank everyone and William in particular. So.
Oh, and then someone else came up to us and asked us to sign a random copy of also the Meg.
The Meg. So yeah. There is a signed copy from Team Thinktwice.
And then we have an actual copy of the Meg.
Yes, we do. Which
these
you
people,
said you were going to watch. What?
These two people did not collaborate together.
No.
It was just separate. So I think that must be our most funny episode.
Well, I mean, it's the movie
or
that
most
you've
memorable?
brought up on this podcast more often than any other movie.
I haven't brought it up once today.
Well, you did. You've talked about it quite a bit, actually.
You brought it up.
No, I think you
brought
it up.
Moving on.
All right, moving on. So, question of the week last week. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This was probably our least popular question of the week last time, but I'll blaze through it because that's what we're supposed to do here. Our question of the week was, if cost was no issue, or card availability was no issue, what would be the best Magic formats to test a Magic player's ability? Ali said just one, Cube, 24% people agree with you, and I said 3 formats, Standard, Legacy, and Limited. 68% of people agree with me, 12% of people said otherwise. But honestly, given the small number of votes, we only had 184 votes for this one, which again is a very small number for what we normally get for question of the week. I'm going to throw this one out because I think we need some more time to think about this before we can have a definitive answer.
All right, I'll take that.
Excellent. So, yeah, well, it's all right. Like I said, I'm sacrificing this one to say that.
Gonna mulligan it.
Yeah, I'm gonna mulligan this question of the week. All right, and we have one special thank you for our newest patron supporter, Radil. Thank you very much, Radil, for your support on Patreon. And if you want to support the show on Patreon, go to patreon.com/thinktwicemtg. You can join any of our great rewards tiers. We have an open slot on our $30 Agent Bolus tier, which you can work with me one-on-one for a commander deck. Or all the way down to our Ulgar Bolus tier, again, which gives you early access to the show, gives you a pair of Thinktwice tokens, and it gets you access to our Discord channel, which you'll definitely want to be doing to answer those questions of the weeks that we're going to be asking you guys. We also want to thank everyone who is listening on one of our platforms: SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, Google Play Music, Spotify. If you do not mind, please leave us a short review. Let us know what you think of the podcast. Give us a like, a subscribe, and a share. We really appreciate that. That goes a long way to getting our name out there for the podcast, especially as we close up 2018 going into the next year. All right. Now
also,
go ahead.
Good. I was going to say, what movie are you watching for next week, Parnell?
we're going to be watching Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is the animated movie.
So if you want to watch that and you listen to that section, make sure you watch that movie.
Excellent. Good on you for putting that in. For putting that at the top, which we're going to start doing. And I'm going to make a note in our little show notes to do that. I'm doing it right now. And then we'll make sure we get it next week, and we're going to tell you multiple times throughout the show. Great. Okay, so for today, we have a lot of SCGCON to talk about because there was a lot that happened at SCGCON.
There was, besides the snow. There was a lot more.
Besides the snow. So we're going to, why don't we do it by day? So for our first segment, Ollie, we're going to get you to walk us through your Friday and Saturday of SCGCON to see what might have happened on Sunday. We'll be back in just a moment.
So I arrive SCGCON. You know that I'm ready for standard. I have Chromatic Black all ready to go. And still debating the Jeskai deck. Have Terminus built, and we go the next day. I'm there at the site. I'm like, okay, maybe I don't want to Terminus. I want to play Supreme Verdict deck. So I go ahead and change deck last minute. Go play match 1. It's good friend Harlan, and he has a couple of things in the ice on the battlefield. I'm digging deep for my Supreme Verdicts, and I'm not finding them. Then I crack a fetch land. Look through my deck. I'm like, oh, there's no Supreme Verdict in my deck. I'm like, hold on, maybe it's in my sideboard. So I should probably call a judge. Look at my sideboard. It's not my sideboard. I count my main deck. I have 60 cards. So I forgot to add Supreme Verdict to my deck. I proceeded to lose that match, and the next 3. We won 3 in Modern, and that was basically the Invitational for me. Basically just died there.
You made it to the last round in Standard because, of course, you rebounded playing your Chromatic Black deck in Standard.
But even at that point, I was playing my win in for day 2. I was like, Justin, I'm not sure I want to play tomorrow, even if I win. I think I'll do the Cube Qualifier because this deck's actually good and my Modern deck sucks. He's like, yeah, I was going to say that, but I was ultimately let you decide. But yeah, I don't disagree with you. Your Modern deck sucks. So thankfully,
those are pretty close to my words. They weren't exactly, but you've paraphrased pretty well, so no need for me to interject.
So then last round, thankfully, my opponent draws 4 Banefires. He's able to Banefire me for a lot, and thankfully, he beat me.
So here's how you died. They Banefired Niv Mizzet. You played another Niv Mizzet. They Banefired that. Then they Banefired you, and then they Banefired you again the next turn.
Yes. And so I was like, you know what? That's cool. I like this deck. I think it's very good. So let's play again tomorrow. So go back. I think I change 0 cards. Maybe 1. I don't know.
You definitely changed 1 card.
Oh yeah, I added Star of Extinction. That's it.
No, 2 cards then.
Oh, Mirage Conjecture. Sorry, that's all I added. I had the Mirage Conjecture main deck. I cut. What did I cut for it? I cut something for it. I think Doom Whisperer or 1 Demon Lord.
Demon Lord Bells and Lock.
I was only wanting 1 Demon Lord, and then add the Mirage Conjecture. And then we go into the standard. So the next day we enter the standard 10K Cube Qualifier. Easily go undefeated, and then able to double draw in top 8. And then proceed to play 2 matches in the top 8, win both of them, and then qualify for the Cube.
And you had.
You watched my matches too.
I actually watched a lot of your matches.
Yeah.
I watched of your 4 rounds. It was a 6-round tournament, but by virtue of going 4-0, you were able to double draw in the top 8, which was nice. Gave me a nice little 2-hour break from watching you to go play Commander in the command zone, and then come back and watch your top 8. So. Yeah, I was able to watch 2 of your Swiss rounds and then the entire top 8. So you had some pretty interesting matches.
Yes, especially
with some incredible plays.
Thank you. Especially in the top 8 against Kevin Jones.
Yes.
He was playing Is It Drake's. And I kept land with 2 swamps and a treasure map. And I did not draw a land. I drew a land, my 3rd land, after treasure map flipped. So I basically scried bottom, draw non-land, scribe bottom, draw non-land, scribe bottom, finally draw land. So I missed 3 land drops. Finally hit my 3rd land. After my 3rd land, I still miss 3 or 4 land drops. I'm operating off my 3 lands in my treasure map or treasure cove and treasure tokens for a very long time. And I'm not even sure how, but I somehow win that game.
You were at 1 life for 6 turns. And he could not break through and deal you the 1 damage.
That was game 1 or game 3?
That was game 1.
Okay. Oh, yes. Yeah. Because game 2... Yeah, game 1. I have game 1. I was able to finally wish for single sacrament and go back up to 21. Yep. And then game 2...
Off of a Mirari conjecture, because you did X equals 5 and then it doubled it.
Yes. And then game 2, same thing happened. I missed a bunch of land drops. This time he had a good start, or better start, and was able to kill me. Even though I was still in it for a while, but I just kept missing land drops for like 4 or 5 land drops and died. And then game 3, I finally get a good hand or a playable hand. It's not even a insane hand. It's just I can play my spells and not miss land drops, and we easily win.
Yeah. It's the match versus Kevin was, even though as I told you afterwards, I don't know why you just didn't get Banefire to kill him instead of getting the Sacrament, but
game 1.
Yeah. But you did, and then you won anyway. But you sure made it. I guess you made it more exciting.
I'm not sure if it was wrong because I got tutored for it. I gave him 1 draw step. I think getting Banefire gives him 1 draw step to draw Shock, where the Sacrament doesn't.
But you left 4 mana up, and you had a Vraska's Contempt in your hand, where you could have Vraska's Contempted the Enigma Drake that you stole from his graveyard.
Right, but the turn I Mastermind for Single Sacrament, I could have Sacrament for 1 or 2 to basically counter the Shock if you do Shock.
Yeah, but you could have also just cast the Vraska's Contempt.
No, that was a turn I cast Sacrament with Contempt up.
Nope, you did it on both.
I Mastermind had contempt up?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
I'm positive, because you didn't go from just 4 mana to having 12 mana.
5. Either way, we won.
Yes, you did.
And then the final match was against Boros mid-range?
Angel. I think it's Boros Angels.
Angels? Sure. Boros Angels?
Yeah, they had Resplendent Angel, Aurelia, and Lyra.
Yeah. And as soon as I learned that it was Angels, I was like, thank God. This deck is so easy to beat. It's it's very, obviously it's very, very favorable for me because they're not doing the heroic reinforcements type deal plus history type deal. But even that deck is favored too. But the Boros one is more favored because they're just so slow, and they play right into your Vraska's Contempts and Eldritch Reborns, so it's just really good, and it was really good. We won. Then then I was like, Parnell. I looked at him. I was like, it's rigged. You made the cube. I qualified for the cube. And if I win it, no one's going to believe that that this wasn't rigged.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, yep. I was like, it's fine. As long as you get there, I'll take whatever anyone wants to say.
Yeah.
But you were saying that top 8 was some of the most nervous Magic that you've played.
While. This top 8 was usually when I top 8, I'm not nervous. Not that nervous. Even when we top 8 the team open, I wasn't actually nervous at all. But for whatever reason, I was very nervous with this top 8. I knew there was this cube online that Justin had designed, and I'm not sure when I'd get the opportunity to this happen again. And Justin was watching me, and I felt like I had to win for not only myself but also for Justin. So I was playing super safe, and and I think I played well too. But
you did. I think you played great. I mean, like I said, the only real thing that I was like, I just don't understand was the Banefire thing. But that's you being ultra safe to the max.
But yeah, again, I was just like, even after beating Kevin Jones, I had to like get up. I was trying to tell you, Justin, I need a hug. I need to get these like nerves out. You're like, what? It's like, I need a hug. You're like, what? It's like, okay, I'm going to the bathroom.
Okay, yeah, I didn't. Sorry, I was as nervous as Ollie was watching.
So I went to the
hands
bathroom.
Were real sweaty.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was real nervous. I'm like wringing my hands, like watching it, especially after your match with Kevin, where it's just
so close.
Is anybody's game at any time.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a really close game. So I went to the bathroom. I didn't have to use it. I just like washed my hands and like washed my face. I was like, okay, let's go back. And then after we won, it was just like I just turned to Justin. Well, I say at the point, like, congratulations on making this far. I'm sorry you lost here. I know it sucks. But congrats. And then I turned to Justin and I just gave him a hug. And
man,
it was awesome.
That was great. It was great. It was a great feeling. It was a great feeling for me because it's like having you in that draft. It was like a dream for me.
Yeah, for me too. Like, I was so excited. It was awesome. That night was just like, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna eat some ice cream.
Yeah, you deserved it.
On a low carb diet. So yeah.
Yeah, it was low carb ice cream. It was low carb ice cream.
Yeah,
you earned it.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. I earned it, but it was low carb, air quotes. Okay.
So so just now that you've kind of, we actually today, the day that we recorded this, had a lot of the kind of the decision makers for SCGCON and SCG Tour. We actually all had a meeting today, and we're kind of talking about our feedback from players and things that we're going to do differently and things that we're going to do the same. So what is your feedback on, I guess not SCGCON as a whole, but like the kind of the setup for the Cube qualifiers and the Cube draft overall?
The Cube draft itself, I think, was amazing. Like, just having that being accessible in some way was awesome. Like, I wanted to qualify for it more so than actually wanting to play in the Invitational. But obviously play the Invitational because the money's like, just you'd be silly not to play in it if you're already qualified, which I was. But you knew going in, like, I was more excited for the Invitational, more excited for the Cube than the Invitational. And I talked to you a little bit about this, but I wish there was some other way to qualify for the Cube besides playing Standard, Modern, or Legacy. I understand that there's the logistics are almost impossible, and you can't really hand multiple cubes out for people to draft and et cetera. But it feels almost like not just ingenuous, but like qualifying for a $10,000 cube draft, not off cube, kind of has like this bad taste in your mouth, or my mouth anyways. But it still doesn't outweigh actually getting to play in the $10,000 cube draft. So
yeah,
basically,
like, you wish the path was different, but ultimately getting there and being able to play is the most important thing. Yeah,
basically, I'm just being like, man, I'm gonna have to do all that again next year to get a chance to play this, and I really want to play. Like, I want to play this. I want to play in this more than any other tournament. Like,
yeah,
it's kind of weird, right? Because I don't know. Well, it's weird.
I had a lot of people over the weekend tell me that they would rather that they played in the Invitational on day one, and they would have rather, if it fell in a way where they could, like if they weren't playing in the Invitational, to play in the Cube qualifier. And these are not just like, I had a lot of people that aren't maybe, I don't want to say lesser known players, but people that have not had as much success in the Invitational. Like, I had Jim Davis tell me this. I had Shaheen Sarani tell me this. They're like, I am totally fine if I don't make day two because I want to play in the Cube qualifier, to play in this Cube draft.
Yeah.
And those are people. Those are two people specifically that love Cube. Like, like love it.
I'll just say, I also think the top 8 was pretty stacked. Like there are a lot of people that
It was.
loved Cube in the top 8.
Yes.
I know for sure Lee does, does, and I know Jake Humphreys also loves cubing. So
Jake Humphreys was actually one of the testers. It was really, and that was really cool for me to see. I actually had 3 people to root for. Obviously, I'm rooting for Ali above everyone else, but having Jake Humphreys, who was one of the testers for this cube, and then Lee McLeod, which is Ali and I's old. We go way, way, way back.
Yeah.
North Carolina guy, and Ollie, you guys make weird top 8s together. Apparently,
yeah, we do.
The top 8 of like 2012 nationals,
US nationals.
Yeah.
We were opposite brackets, so we sat down like, okay, this is how the cube's gonna work. This is what's good, what's not, and we also sat beside each other, but ultimately ended up hindering each other.
You did, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that a little bit in the next segment.
Yeah.
So for the qualifier, as you were playing, is there anything that you were like? Because this is the first time you've played Chromatic Black in paper event, right?
Yes, actually, yeah.
Okay. So obviously it feels different than Arena.
Oh yes, I was definitely playing on Arena a lot. People, if you've watched my stream, you've watched me play this deck. I even said, hey, I'm playing this deck at the tournament. And we're like, no, really? It's like, yeah. Like, no way. I was like, what do you mean no way? I always play my brews at events. I played Rainbow Lich. I play this deck. I played a bunch of other ones that failed and others that succeeded. But playing this deck in paper was a lot more, maybe the word is meticulous. I think
meticulous is appropriate.
The amount of little things you have to do with treasure map: tap it, put a counter, look at the top card of your library, put it up the bottom, flip it, get treasure token out, put it, like doing that, and then like basically the artifacts. It was just so much little extra work, and then having to count the number of swamps you have, and then play, and then tap Cabal Stronghold for that many, and tap another Stronghold basically to do the math and see how much mana you have floating. If you have enough to Banefire. It's so much more monotonous than Magic Arena. It tells you everything. It's like, okay, this is flipping. You have 3 treasures. Okay, your Cabal Stronghold taps for 7 black. And you tap on the Stronghold, gives you however many black. It was just much easier to do all that on MG Arena. But I still enjoyed playing the deck in paper. But for every reason, Demon Lord Bells Unlock was a lot better on MG Arena than he was in paper.
Yeah.
He kept just drawing 1 card in paper, and I was like, "Come on, Bells Unlock, you've almost killed us on Arena. I've cast you on Arena, and you've drawn like 5 cards or 6 cards. One time you drew 8 cards and basically killed me. What's going on?"
I only saw you do that one time. You drew 4 cards one time, and then outside of that it was 1. And
it was insane.
And then I saw you drew 2 one time.
Yeah, then it was just like, one. It was like Moment of Craving. I was like, "Yikes!"
It was always something that cost 2. It was always like Chromatic
Lantern,
or not Chromatic Lantern, like Thematic Compass or Treasure Map or Moment of Craving. That was it.
Yeah, Treasure Map. I never minded because Treasure Map is great.
Yeah,
it's like secret best rare in the set, and then drawing Moment of Craving or Compass is just like this is not the same. This is
yeah, no, this isn't the same at all as an Eldritch Reborn or
this is a
Mastermind's Acquisition or a Karn.
Yeah, this is a huge Eldritch Visionary, basically.
A Friction Rager. Big Friction Rager.
Sure. Whatever. It was just big. And then when it draws 4 or 3, the sweet spot is 3/4, because then you basically have just have like a huge Mull Drifter, and it's just like, yeah. And then you have like 1 or 2 good spells in your hand, and it's just really good. So.
Okay, so the one change you did make, taking out 1 Bells Unlock for the Mirari Conjecture. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I made that change because it was very hard to cast 2 Bells Unlocks in a game that wasn't against Jeskai control, because a lot of decks can like burn you out or chip you, like Golgari can do it. The burn decks can do it, obviously. The mid-range decks like White Weenie or Boros, Heroic Reinforcements can do it. Basically, you don't have to cast 1, and one's always fine. But other than that, like, it becomes a dead draw. And Mirari Conjecture solved the issue of like having like getting more contempts, and basically like sometimes you need to wish for a card with masterminds, but you don't want to because you're not 100% sure what's correct. And then Mario Conjecture kind of solves that problem because it's like, okay, well, get Mario Conjecture, and then I'll buy you back your Moment of Craving or your Contempt, and then I'll also buy you back your Masterminds to set up a win next turn. And what's great is because
I'll just get something now, and if it changes next turn, then I'll just do it again.
Yeah, and on Chapter 2, you can, when you get the Mastermind back, you can wish for Banefire or Sacrament or any spell you want, or just wait for Chapter 2 to copy it, copy Mastermind.
Yeah.
And what's great is this deck naturally has a good balance of instants and sorceries. You have like Golden Demise, Ritual of Soot, Mastermind's Acquisition. You have like I think like at least 8 sorceries,
and as well as a handful of cards from your sideboard. They're sorceries.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yes. And then after your sideboard, like buying back duress, then like double dressing on.
That's a big deal.
Disgusting. Yeah.
Usually that's enough to win you the game.
Oh, absolutely. Like there's times where you can Mastermind copy it, get duress and something else, then double duress, and then that's just game over. Double duress isn't like just as like you just get one duress, but it copies itself.
Yep. Man. Well, so going forward, I guess you're probably not going to play in another paper event until Ravnica Allegiance comes out. So we'll have to.
I think there's PP2s this weekend, but I'm not sure I'll play in them. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to wait until new set comes out to see what kind of tools you get for both this and Rainbow Lich. I know you're excited for that one because we were talking over the weekend about the chance that you might get some Orzhov cards that have to do with life gain for Rainbow Lich.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think Rainbow Lich has more to gain from Ravnica Allegiance than Chromatic Black does. Like Chromatic Black is leaning on the monocolored Rakdos cards and the monocolored
Orzhov cards. I think this deck is just better. Like I think all things considered, I think Chromatic Black is just a better deck.
It is right now, but I think come next set when Rainbow Lich gets all the shock lands,
that's
and
true. And it
has access
your whole
to everything.
World opens up.
Yeah, because it can play any cards. Like Rainbow Lich has a lot more to gain than Chromatic Black has to gain. From
That's true. That's true. Okay. All right. Ollie, anything else on Friday and Saturday of SCGCON before we move on to Sunday?
No, that's it.
Okay. All right. Well, we are going to take a quick break. We're going to shovel the snow out from behind the cars, put on our hoodies and sweaters and all that stuff, and venture out into the snowmageddon that we experienced on Sunday of SCGCON as Ollie took on the 10K Cube draft. We'll be back in just a moment. So Sunday morning we wake up, know that there's dozens of inches of snow on the ground, or at least a single dozen of inches of snow on the ground. But Ollie, you're not going to be contained by mere weather from playing the Cube draft.
But yeah, let's not say that.
You said you almost were?
Yeah, dude, there was so much snow. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I would step outside and the snow would almost all the way up to my knee. There was so much snow. It was a lot. Poor Maggie, was swimming in snow, and she was too scared to anytime she tried to go pee on the sidewalk or on, in the grass, she couldn't because she'd go up there. She's like just fall in. She was stuck. She would just be stuck. So we had to get her to pee on the street. She was like, I don't want to pee on the street. This isn't natural. I want to pee on some grass.
No grass to be found.
There's no grass. Yeah, exactly. There's no grass.
There's no grass.
No.
So we do finally, SCGCon, we ended up making the decision to close to the public, but we still did the Invitational top 8 and the Cube top 8. Now, unfortunately, because of all of this, we were not able to do all of the coverage that we wanted for the Cube, which made me sad, but ultimately it was my call. And I felt like for the safety of the competitors to go ahead and do it as quickly as possible to get everybody home. So what we were able to do is record the draft and then ultimately recorded the finals of the Cube.
Yes.
And fortunately, the person the only person that we were able to record their draft was one Ali Aintrazi, which we happened to have with us as the host of this podcast. So, I am fortunate that I was myself and Eric Dustin Brown, which was the head judge for that event, were the only two people that I think got to see every single match of the Cube draft.
Even the head judge wanted to play the Cube draft.
Oh yeah, that was Eric. Yeah, he's a big Cuber himself. So we just got to talk and watch Cube, and I got to talk with a lot of the competitors before the Cube, a little bit before the Cube, a lot after the Cube, after everyone kind of finished up. Whether they won, lost, everyone seemed like they had a great time, except for your first round opponent. But outside of that, everyone that did the draft seemed like they had a blast, and they thanked me more than they needed to. I was just happy that they were able to participate in an event that put Cube kind of in the forefront for everyone. And again, like I said in the last segment, like the fact that you were able to do it as well was like a dream come true for me.
It was a Christmas miracle.
It was a Christmas miracle. Yeah. So, Ali, I kind of want to go through the archetypes since I don't know what is posted and what's not. We essentially everyone that works at Star City was not at work on Monday due to the snow, so we're still kind of playing catch up. I don't know if things are posted by now or if they're not, but want to kind of go through the archetypes that happened in the draft. And I'll leave Ali's till last, and we can kind of go over his in more detail. So right. We had a Teamer Upheaval / Wildfire ramp deck. There was a green mid-range deck that splashed both blue and black, very mild splash. We had a very control-y blue-black control deck. There was a black-white mid-range deck. There was a blue-white tempo deck, a mono-red aggro deck, and then a deck that I'm calling 4-color white. It was a white aggro deck that splashed black, green, and red with a very fancy mana base, which is a deck that I enjoyed watching. And then, of course, we had Ali. And Ali, why don't you walk us through when you sit down to the draft and then going forward from there?
Well, I sat down and my process was okay. I'm going to take the best card in each pack until I see what's open. And in hindsight, I should have taken the best mana in each pack until I saw what was open. That's the better strategy. But alas, I did not. Instead, I took the best card. I think I started out with was Survival the Fittest?
Started off with Tinker.
Oh yeah, sorry. It started with Tinker, which was a trap. And then I got Survival the Fittest. And shortly after I got, was it Grizzlebrand?
Yep.
Maybe a fourth pick Grizzlebrand, third pick Grizzlebrand. So I was like, okay, I'll go towards like the Survival Reanimate deck. And then I eventually get past a token generator that's like screams that tokens are open. I can't remember what it was. Do you remember what it was?
The token generator. I think the first thing that you took that was tokens related was you saw.
Oh, it was Lingering Souls, I think.
No,
or Bitter Blossom.
Nope.
No.
You saw a Zulaport Cutthroat go by in the top half of the first pack, and then around pick 8,
he came back.
No, you see a Blood Artist.
Oh, I take Blood Artist then.
And then you take Blood Artist, and then you're like, okay, now I'm going to start to get some of these token cards.
Yeah, I get Blood Artist, and I get Cutthroat, Zulaport Cutthroat.
And you get a Theomancer in the same pack.
Yes, so like my late game picks are good, but my early picks are just basically tossed out the window at this point.
You basically sacrifice the first half of the first pack of your draft.
Yeah, or if I just prioritized getting lands, I would have been okay. I said the best card. But anyways, I do that. Start going into black-white tokens, and then pick up some red because I see like Bombardment later. And end up having this really, really strong and powerful Mardu deck. Mardu tokens deck. But my mana base is awful. Because I don't have many dual lands. Like I have Blood Crypt, Scalding Tarn, Badlands, and
Shambling Vent.
Oh, and Shambling Vent.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And Ali has a lot of powerful white cards that he really does need to kind of play on time, as well as getting Allies in the car is obviously a double white card, but arguably the most powerful card in his deck if he can cast it on time. And
side quest.
Okay.
I cast it 0 times.
Yes.
But I had it 3 times in my hand.
You did have it multiple times. The game ended with it in your hand multiple times.
Yes.
Whether you won or lost.
Yes, a lot.
And like as I watched Ollie's draft, I actually put in all the picks for his draft as we recorded it, and I really like, as I've told him, obviously we've talked about this a lot, but I loved his deck. I love the spells in his deck. But his mana was so bad. We knew after, obviously we didn't talk until after he finished building his deck, but I looked at it and I was like, man, your spells look great, but I was like, if you lose, it's because your mana's atrocious.
Yep.
So
that was basically that was literally the only reason I lost.
Yep.
There were times where I won the game with black-red mana, 3 white cards in my hand, no white source in play, but I still won. Like that was the power of my deck.
Yeah.
But then there was times where I just couldn't cast the cards I needed. I've seen one plains, and I would have been like good to go.
So last week we talked about I talked about SCGCON Cube tips, right? And one of the things I talked about was like the token payoff cards. And you ended up with Blood Artist, Zulaport Cutthroat, and Goblin Bombardment. And I don't know how much you've played with that like collection of cards before, but I think you kind of got to see like the full display of their power with your deck in this draft.
Oh yeah, it's very, very subtle, but it lets you win games that you are basically have no business winning because your opponent's like about to kill you. But you've chipped them to like 5 or 6 or 7 even, and then you're like, all right, well, each token now deals 2 damage to you and gains me life, or deals you 2 and I gain 2, or I get to block your creature, gain life by blocking, you lose a life, I gain a life. It's just so much like incidental pings and chips that it just works out. It's crazy. But it's powerful. It's like subtly powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, you killed an opponent from 12 in one of your games because you had 4 tokens. You had a Blood Artist in play. So you attack with 4 tokens. They don't block. So they take 4. Then you play Goblin Bombardment. And then you sacrifice all 4 of your tokens, hit them for 1, then drain them for 1 and kill them.
Yeah, one token. Well, actually, one token. Actually, I lost 2 tokens. One he killed, and one he was able to deal damage to me, and he had the creature that... When you become the Monarch, your opponent sacrifices a creature.
Custody Lich.
He has Custody Lich. So
which is a great card, by the way.
Yeah, so I couldn't sacrifice my Spirit. I had to sack it to the Custody Lich, otherwise I lose on Blood Artist. But I got to draw Ophiomancer. Yeah. Which was able to put a token on his turn, a snake token. I was able to sacrifice the snake token. He was at 2, and I was like, well, it's now or never, I guess, because he's about to ultimate Elspeth Sun Champion. So I just sacrifice the Ophiomancer and deal him 2 more damage, and he dies.
Yeah, Ophiomancer's so great. That's a super underrated card. People that cube a lot know, but if you don't cube very often, you're probably like, this card is it looks like it's a 2/2 for 3 that puts a snake into play, and that's all it does.
It looks like a Blade Splicer.
It looks like a bad Blade Splicer, yeah.
Yeah, but it's so much better than Blade Splicer.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, the upside on that card is significantly better than Blade Splicer. And Blade Splicer is quite good.
I agree.
It's quite good. So in all his first round, he played against as he was saying, he played against the black-white mid-range deck with Recurring Nightmare, Thoughtseize, Mind Twist, and Recurring Nightmare.
Grim Monolith, and Elspeth Sun Champion.
Yes.
And Stoneforge Mystic.
and Stone Forward Mystics to get Sword of Light and Shadow, which is good against Ali.
Very, very good against me.
Yeah. Because all of his tokens are either black or white, and then he had a couple of red tokens, and a couple of artifact tokens, but not many. He had Mog War Marshal for red, and then P and Kieran Nalar made Thopters for colorless.
Yeah, and then Duretti made colorless servos.
Yeah. Yeah, colorless, yeah, like little construct defenders.
Yeah.
So.
Also, Duretti was sweet. I like that card.
Yeah, that's a great card. That was a great card.
Yeah.
That was one you actually opened in pack 3, and you're like, I was watching you go back and forth. You're like, I really want, because I could tell you really wanted this card, but it's black and red. I'm like, oh, please don't take it. I was like, just try to wheel it. Try to wheel it. Try to wheel it.
Yeah.
And you do. You actually take something else. You took Bitter Blossom, which is obviously like would have been one of the best cards in your deck.
Yeah, that pack was pretty insane.
So you want to talk about the pack?
Sure.
Okay.
So open this pack. Obviously, there's Bitter Blossom and Ready, both insane cards in my deck. But also, there's power in this pack. There's Ancestral Recall, there's Time Walk, and there's Library of Alexandria. And the whole time I'm like, wait, is it too late to go to blue? I'm like, I picked no blue cards. I have like one Cryptic Command, but that's like too deep. I can splash blue. I was like, I don't even have blue. I didn't. I was like, okay, this is a trap. I need to ignore these cards, even though they're really powerful. And now I need to pick between Bitter Blossom and Dreddy. And I was like, well, if I pick Blossom, there's a lot of cards in this pack that are very powerful, and hopefully Dreddy wheels because he's also black-red. Maybe people will take the other card instead. And yeah, I was disciplined, took Bitter Blossom, and then got rewarded and got Dreddy super late, or like on the wheel.
Which really were probably two of your best cards in your entire deck, as far as how your deck ended up coming together with being able to easily cast cards that were black and red, or black or red.
For sure. A huge sigh of relief was when I was able to get Golem Bombardment. I was like, oh, thank gosh. Like, thank God. Like, my deck is good now.
Yeah, and one thing, as we were walking to the draft, the last thing I said to you, I was like, remember, you're going to see every card in this draft.
Yeah.
Every single card. So, and I was, hoping that, like, if you get part of an archetype, you gotta think that the rest of that archetype is going to come. And once you took the Blood Artist and Zulaport Cutthroat off the table from people,
everything was it was open. It was all mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wish I'd gone a little earlier. Like, obviously I started on the pack on the other half of, like, I feel like the first half of pack one was wrong, but after the first, like,
pick 8 on
was correct,
because that's when you took the Blood Artist.
For the most part. For the most part.
And unfortunately, two of the cards you passed in the beginning of that pack were Scrubland and Godless Shrine.
Yeah, and that just destroyed me.
Yeah.
Like, because it put those in wheel, and it put multiple people in black-white, and it's just like, yeah, if I taken Scrubland, one other person would have been in black-white, but it would not have been two people, because now we had two people in black-white.
Yeah.
One
person all the way in black-white, where they're just playing black-white, and then one person playing heavy white and then splashing black off of the Scrubland.
Yeah.
So, yeah, lands are really powerful. This is something, we had a cube panel at SCGCON on Friday with myself, Gavin Verhey at Wizards, and Kenji, or Numi the Numot, as most people know him. We talked about Cube, and someone asked one of the questions.
You say Numi the Numot?
Yeah.
Is it Numot Nomi?
Yes. I had that backwards.
It's okay.
I just call it. I just talk to him as Kenji.
Sure.
Rather than saying his online name. I don't ever remember. I'm so bad at remembering people's handles.
I just thought it was fun, but go ahead.
Numot the Nummy. Not whatever I said. Not the other thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, and people asked us to, like, how early do you take lands? And we all at the same time said pack 1, pick 1, just immediately. And that's just something always really important to note is they have the highest chance that they're going to make your deck relative to their draft position.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Ali took what is, I pulled all of, in testing, I pulled all of my drafters and was like, rank the top 8 most powerful cards that aren't actual power. So not counting Moxen, not counting Black Lotus, not counting Recall, Time Walk. I was like, rank all the rest of the cards. And the number one card that people actually put as the number one card in their list was Tinker. And you led with Tinker, but
it fell off quick.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Let's see. What else? Anything interesting? Anything else interesting from your games or the draft that you wanted to talk about?
Well, the draft itself, there was one time where I had to choose between Dark Confidant and Liliana, Heretical Healer. And as it was like, unfortunately, it was like 4 cards in the pack, or 5 cards in the pack. And I was reading like Liliana's text.
Total.
Yeah, I was reading her text, and I just couldn't read all the whole card. Like, and I ended up picking Dark Confidant instead of Liliana. But Liliana would have been much better in my deck. I should have picked her, but oh well.
Yeah. Yeah. And ultimately it ended up not mattering.
No, it did not matter.
Yeah. Just how you the minimal times you drew Dark Confidant.
I think it was like
once,
yeah.
Once when you're dead on board.
Yeah, I was already dead. It's too late, yeah.
Yeah.
I was literally just dead. Yeah, in the air. To a spell card that had sort of Fire and Ice and sort of something else.
Yeah,
Fire
Feast and Famine and Fire and Ice.
Oh yeah, So that I just died.
Yeah, that was brutal, and you died with 3 white cards in your hand.
Yeah. And if I had, and one was Lingering Souls, and I put ours in place, I could have made 4 tokens and just started blocking, chumping.
Yep. And I was just looking because I was like, okay, he has protection from black, green, red, and blue.
Not white.
Ollie has this Lingering Souls.
Come on, Plains.
Yeah.
Didn't happen though. That's okay. Still had fun.
Yeah, I mean that's how it goes. Unfortunately, that's Magic. But I mean we haven't made any plans to run this back, but obviously I'm gonna fight for this to make sure that this happens. So you guys will hear first when we announce it.
And I'm also gonna convince Justin to play Treasure Map in his cube.
I like Treasure Map. I think I would that card in my 540 cube. 360 is it's a little narrow.
It has to be better than one of the signets. It just has to be. The card is so good.
It's probably better than Curse Scroll, actually.
Oh, that was also my deck too.
I think. Well, that wasn't in your deck. That was in your draft. You drafted it, but
I wore it in a lot.
Yeah, it gets fine, but I think Curse Scroll is probably one of the 5 worst cards in the cube.
Sure. Treasure Map has made me, I don't know, that card, it's so like secretly good. Like, it doesn't seem that good, but
you are the number 1 Treasure Map fan in the whole world, I think. So
I think that card is like, as time goes on, like before it rotates, you're like, wow, I can't believe we picked up on this card
for
so late.
Long.
Yeah, it's just so good. It lets you play Magic when you would die, and then it lets you it puts you back in the game when you're behind on card advantage. It just like lets you, it gets you from like stage 1 to stage 2, and then for stage 3 it's just like, well, I'm just extra selection now. So
I'll let you sing its praises for a while. Maybe by the time it comes around, the cube comes around again, maybe it can earn its spot.
Okay. And then late game, Scry 1 is very close to draw card when you're putting lands on the bottom, honestly. Yeah. So, and non-blue deck, so it's powerful.
That's true. Okay. Anything else on the cube draft?
No, that's it.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, we do not have a pop culture segment this week because something happened last week that bumped what we were going to talk about. So on December 6th of last Thursday, Magic announced a big entry into esports for 2019. We're going to talk about the fallout of that in just a moment. So I'm gonna throw a bunch of information at you because there is a lot to unpack in this announcement, but yet the box is still deeper, and our arms are not long enough to get to the bottom of it.
Okay. Is there... No, go ahead.
Were you going to analogize my analogy?
I was going to be like, is there things we can't get in their box that don't exist that we want?
Well, I don't know. Maybe. We don't know. That's part of the fun. All right. So the first thing was this announcement was supposed to go live at 6 p.m. Pacific time last Thursday, but someone on a random website... Go ahead.
Side quest. Isn't Pacific a weird word? It's not specific. It's like Pacific. It just sounds weird anytime you say it.
Pacific? No.
Yeah, just doesn't that sound weird? Like Pacific. Who says Pacific?
Probably people when they're talking about the ocean or a time zone.
What other word starts with P? Platypus?
No, that starts with PL.
Like what starts with Pacific? Anyway,
what starts with Pacific? Well,
side quest done.
Word.
Side quest is finished. Go back.
All right. Pacific time is when it was supposed to be publicly announced, but someone decided that they didn't know the difference between Eastern time and Pacific time, so all the information went live 3 hours earlier at 6 p.m. Eastern time. It's a lot, so buckle up. First thing, Pro Tours are no more. They're now Mythic Championships, and a couple months ago they announced they were going from 4 Pro Tours to 6 Pro Tours. And with this announcement, they said, nah, just kidding. Those extra 2 that were added, we're going back down to 4, and now they're Mythic Championships instead of Pro Tours. How do you feel about the name?
Well, at first it's like, man, right now, I'm not going to lie. When we say Mythic Championships, I'm thinking of chips. Like, I want to eat. I'm hungry. I'm thinking of, like, eating some chips. But then, I'm like, man, being the Mythic Champion sounds so much weaker than being the Pro Tour champion. Hey man, what'd you win? Yo, I'm the Mythic champion. I'm the Mythic champion.
Does it? See, I'm someone that I've watched the Pro Tour for 20 years, right?
The Pro Tour, the word pro and the word tour sound better than both Mythic and Championship. Well, Mythic. Better than Mythic.
Championship is I think Championship and Tour is a pretty generic...
It's the word Mythic, man. Like, you put Mythic in front of it, it's like, look at this Mythic teddy bear. It just sounds so like...
Well, that's the word that Magic is latching onto, that Wizards is latching onto for Magic, that's something rare and special. So, it makes sense.
It doesn't sound rare. It sounds...
silly.
Churdish and insubordinate.
I don't really have a problem with it, honestly. I don't have a problem with the name change.
Well, I do.
I think there's no good abbreviation. Like PT is a good abbreviation. What do you say? MC? Yeah, I won the MC.
Yeah, I won. See, an MC just sounds too close to mind control tech. All right. I think we say MC. I think like MC Hammer. Thinking mind control tech.
No, I don't think anyone thinks of mind control tech. I think people probably think of, like an MC, or like that's abbreviation for like Master of Ceremonies, but not Mythic Championship. That's not something that I think people are going to think of. But maybe that won't be the abbreviation. Abbreviations sometimes happen with not just the first 2 letters of the words, even though that seems like the obvious thing. Anyway.
But now you can do MC, capital M, capital McDonald's Championships.
No, that's a lowercase c. Anyway, this is probably why at Pro Tour Guilds of Ravnica they didn't give away any of the T-shirts, because all the T-shirts had the 6 Pro Tours on them. So they didn't want anybody to have those. But the worst part is they make people pay for them instead of just giving them away for free. So now you had to pay for a shirt that is wrong, because it has the 6 Pro Tours on it.
Well,
yeah.
When you goof, you goof.
Well, that's the type of thing to me that's like, how much did they really think about this? How long did they think about this? And sometime in the last 2 months.
I'll take a wild guess. I'll say within 2 months.
Yeah, under 2 months. I think this thing is Ollie, maybe not as wild of a guess as you believe it to be.
Yeah.
All right. So the next announcement, though, in all seriousness, they're going to give away $1 million in prize money over 10 events.
I'm gonna need you to stop right there and multiply that number by 10.
Excuse me. What did I say? Did I say $1 million?
You said 1 million. It's definitely 10 million.
10. Yeah, 1 million is not very impressive. I wrote in the show notes $10 million given away in prize money over 10 events across paper and arena. Now that's important.
Yeah, is it 5 million for each? Is it 9 million for one and 1 million for the other? Is it $1 for one?
Here's what we know so far.
999 million for the other? No one knows.
The first event is going to be at PAX East in March, and that's going to be called the Mythic Invitational, which, geez, they're really just throwing a bunch of buzzwords and trying to jam them together.
I mean, it's just Mythic mostly.
Yeah, Mythic with other words that they have used before.
Yes.
But it's called the Mythic Invitational. It's going to take place at PAX at the end of March, and that is going to be a $1 million arena tournament. Okay? On arena. $1 million tournament.
I'm excited.
Well, don't get too excited, because the event is going to be inviting the top, and I'm putting air quotes around the top 32 players. And those top 32 players are going to make the inaugural Magic Pro League. And the Magic Pro League is going to be the top, again, putting quotes around top, 32 players, and they're going to sign those people to a $75,000 a year contract, mostly to make content and to stream specifically. And of course, they'll travel to events. They'll be required to do that, to make appearances at places. So that part is a lot to wrap your head around. Like, how do you become one of those top 32 players? What does top mean? We don't really know the answer to those questions yet. That's the bottom of the box that we can't quite reach yet.
That's true. And that's very important, obviously.
Incredibly important.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, without that information, like, it's kind of difficult to make this announcement. Also, how much are they streaming? What kind of content are they making? Where do they have to travel to? How many events do they have to travel to? How do you even get to being a top player? They're taking the top players from this year. Their leaderboard doesn't even go down to 32. It goes down to 25.
I have no idea. Exactly. Like no one knows.
Yeah, no one has any idea. No one has any idea. All we know, 32 players, Magic Pro League, $75,000 a year contract. And
that all sounds nice.
It does all sound nice. And then the first event they're going to be playing in is the PAX event. I'm going to search this. I have the article in front of me. Yeah, PAX Boston, March 28th through 31st. And that's when they're kicking it off. Special $1 million in MTG Arena with the MTG Arena Mythic Invitational event. Showcase players in the new Magic Pro League battling against challengers. So it says in January, we're revealing more information about the Mythic Invitational and who snags those elusive slots. Maybe one of them can be you. Ollie, maybe one of them can be you.
I mean, can I?
I don't know.
It says top 30 players. Are they have a chance to do it or no?
It's very confusing.
We'll see.
We will see.
Time will tell.
But I mean, it's clear that one, just based on the number, they're saying esports is something we want to do, and Magic Arena is the way that we're going to do it. Now they're not giving away more in Arena than they are in tabletop. It looks like it's going to be about even. So essentially, what they're doing is they're just taking what they gave out in the tabletop money this year, and they're giving that same amount out in Arena. Because it was a little under $5 million given out in paper Magic, which they're now calling tabletop throughout this whole article, in paper Magic, and then they're giving away roughly that amount in Arena over the year. So this is a big deal. This is a big deal for Magic.
Well, I agree, and I'm excited. I just want more information. I'm pumped. I want to know. I want to know more. And I really hope it comes before January, or becomes January. That's very soon January.
Yeah, beginning of January, and we just get all the rest of the info.
Yeah, we have to, because people are have to prep and get.
If it's happening this year, yeah, people got to know.
Yeah.
especially if you're going to try to be one of those 32 people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We know that the formerly Pro Tours, now Mythic Championships, are going to award $500,000 in cash. The one thing they're doing is they're going to remove the travel invite from the Mythic Championship, formerly Pro Tour invite. This is going to allow them to give out more invitations, but they're not going to pay for travel for people. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know exactly how that's going to pan out. Grand Prix, which are
that's
now
basically that reminds me of like side quest. That reminds me of when I used to play Pro Tours, where I had to pay for my flights and everything, like back in the old days.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Go back to that. So, anyways,
we know that Magic Fest / Grand Prix, whatever you want to call them, make up about 2.5 million, and they're killing essentially everything that's not Mythic Championships and Magic Fests. Nationals, no more. World Magic Cups and their qualifying system, no more. Team Pro Series, no more. And even Pro Points, they're doing away with. They're not going to have any Pro Points, and specifically that means the Pro Players Club.
What about Magic Online?
What about it?
Is it dead?
No. Although, I mean,
took a big hit though. This hit it pretty hard.
Yeah, this did not make people that were invested in Magic Online or people that play Magic Online feel good.
No.
I think we can say that pretty definitively.
I mean, I think maybe Magic Online won't officially die, but MTG Arena is going to do everything but kill Magic Online.
I think it's more like there's only so much food.
Exactly. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, it won't kill it. Like, it's not going to stop. Magic Online will still exist, but it's going to, like, do everything but kill it.
I think it's gonna slowly wither away. And I think, I mean, honestly, like, obviously, Ollie, I have no idea, but I think that's what Wizards wants. It lets them go to this nice, shiny, new, and better platform in Magic Arena, and then have people slowly just not take part in playing on Magic Online, just move to Arena to play. And then inevitably you're like, well, no one plays this game anymore. Why would we continue to support it? And then you just don't. And that's something they just let happen naturally, which from a business perspective is smart, because if you just killed it, then you're like, well, we have to recognize that the cards that you have on your accounts have value, but we don't want to do that. So rather than cutting it off, we're just going to let it die. So we don't have to pay out anything. We're just going to let it die. And if you want to keep playing on it, you can do that. Magic Online is going to exist as a program for at least 5 more years, probably longer than that. But you're going to start to see, in my opinion, the new features they're going to get are going to stop. And essentially you're going to get new set releases, and then that's it. So new cards are going to be on Magic Online, but that's it. So you can still play it, but there's not going to be anything that's going to incentivize you to play it, other than the fact that you can already have all those cards. That if you do.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't see it living. I don't know. I mean, it will, but like compared to,
I mean, it will live.
Yeah,
you know,
but watching MTG Arena is so much better than watching Magic Online.
Yeah, like 100 times better.
Mm-hmm.
I hate Magic Online. No one is more excited for Magic Online to wither and die and go away than I am. Okay? Yeah. I've been playing Magic for almost 20... It'll be 20 years next year. And Magic Online has been out for 15 of those years. And I have never liked it. It's never been a program that I've enjoyed. And I love Magic more than most people. Obviously, if you're someone that spends... my whole day... Every day is Magic. So is Ali's. And like both of us, our jobs in different ways revolve around Magic. So I'd say we love Magic more than most people because we've made this our careers.
Yes.
And the fact that you have 2 people that cannot stand a program that makes it should make it the easiest way to play Magic at your home and I just refuse to do it. I would rather not play Magic than play Magic on Magic Online.
I agree.
And Arena is the complete opposite.
Yes. I agree completely.
So that's really all you need to know about the state of Magic Online.
Just
now
trading,
and going forward.
The fact that if you trade, it's so monotonous and tedious and just...
It's awful.
Stop. Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Long ago.
I did too.
Long ago. So what do you make? What do you make of what you know now from this announcement?
I mean, I think it's exciting. I'm hopeful. I think this will be good for all of Magic, and I'm excited to see Magic grow because I think this will ultimately make Magic grow. I just want. I also can wait for the more information. So this is a huge announcement. This is like the biggest announcement Magic has made, or Hasbro, Wizards, whatever has made in the past. What?
Ever. I think ever probably.
Yeah, it's since the reserve list.
Well, yeah. Well, in retrospect, yes. I think when they made that announcement, it wasn't as big as when they made this announcement.
Still, but yeah, the ramifications of that announcement.
The ramifications have lasted decades. So
right, yeah, but this is huge. This is huge. This is going to have people from outside Magic looking in. Because you're basically pushing Magic into esport territory. So
yeah, and when you start doing that,
you get a lot of eyeballs.
You get a lot of eyeballs. 10 million is not it's not a small number.
It is not.
It's not a small number, and I think that this game is 25 years old this year, and I think we are still climbing the mountain to get to the top, and I don't even think we're halfway there yet. I think Magic has so much room to grow, and we're still going. We're still going up.
Let's go.
Yep, let's do it. I'm ready. Okay. Anything else? I'm sure we're going to come back and talk about this topic more in January. We know that there's more details are going to come in January. So whenever that happens, you'll hear us talk about it. You hear our take on the show. So
no, that's all I got.
All right, we'll let it rest for a month or so. We want to remind everyone that next week we are going to return to our normal pop culture. Obviously, this is something we just had to talk about. Make sure everyone got that information. But we're going to be talking about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is the movie that I've been looking forward to the most this entire year, if you can believe that. So if you want to be joined in that conversation, that movie comes out probably today. If you're listening to it in real time, it was already out in theaters. So go check that out. It looks super awesome. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm super, super pumped. So that's the show for this week, guys. We're going to be back in just a moment with Question of the Week. Oh, I want to make this one simple for you.
Okay.
Because I already know the answer.
Okay.
And I want to go back. I want to go back into Ollie's brain at the moment he opened pack number 3 during the $10,000 cube draft at SCGCON. Ollie is in what we can describe as a Mardu tokens deck. He has a lot of black, a lot of red, some white, has no green, no blue, and certainly no fixing to cast any cards in those colors. But lo and behold, Ollie opens up a pack with an Ancestral Recall, a Time Walk, and a Library of Alexandria. And lurking behind those is a Bitter Blossom, which is by and far one of, if not the best card he could have opened for his deck in the entire cube.
Yep.
What do you take? That's the question of the week. What do people take in this spot?
Well, we know what Ollie took.
We do know what Ollie took. Ollie took Bitter Blossom.
But I do wish I'd shuffle the packs around and open that pack one, and taken Recall instead of Tinker.
Yeah, that's a difference.
Big difference there.
That's a difference for sure. So we want to know what you guys would have taken, and I'm going to try to frame this question of the week as it happened. Ollie is not in blue at all, has no blue fixing, in Mardu, opens up one of the best cards for him in Bitter Blossom. What do you take? I believe that Ollie made the right choice. I think he should have taken Bitter Blossom. 100% should have taken Bitter Blossom. I think you have to resist. You have to resist the blue cards. And even some people are going to say, take Library. It's going to be rough to be able to cast the cards that you're drawing is the problem.
Also, the mana base is already terrible.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yeah, like you're playing a 3-card deck with minimal fixing, and you want to add colorless land to the deck. It's like, I mean, Library's good, but like, it's not that good.
Yeah, you still have to be able to cast your spells, and you're just making that more difficult. So, you guys let us know. That is the question of the week. What should Ollie have taken in pick 1 of pack 3 at the 10K Cube draft at SCGCON? All right. Ollie, where can people find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Twitter /Ali Aintrazi, coolstuffinc.com. My articles come up every Friday, so make sure to check those out. That's coolstuffinc.com. Then twitch.tv/Ali Aintrazi. That's where I stream. And then you can follow the Thinktwice MTG YouTube page where I post my stream highlights there.
Yes, definitely check that out. And you can find me on Twitter at jparnell1. You can also find me on StarCityGames.com and YouTube. I'm the host of the Commander Versus series. We're in a little break right now, but you should definitely be subscribed to that channel just to make sure you don't miss anything, just in case. If you want to contact the show, you can do so. ThinktwiceMTG on Twitter as well. And, of course, email us thinktwicemtg@gmail.com. If you want to listen, you can go to SoundCloud. Oh, I do it every other time. SoundCloud. Well, there's only one cloud. I don't know why I want to make multiple clouds.
That's okay. That's okay.
It's a cloudy day. SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, Spotify. Please leave a review, like the show, share the show, comment, tell us what you think. You can search Think Twice MTG on any of those platforms to find us. And of course, you can also find us on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/ThinktwiceMTG. You can find Ali Aintrazi's stream highlights. You can find Justin Parnell, free-to-play MTG Arena Series, Journey of Discovery. You can find the podcast there. You can find all sorts of different stuff. You should definitely be subscribed to that channel. We're putting a lot of content on there, which has been a lot of fun for us. So definitely go check that out. And of course, if you want to support the show further, patreon.com/ThinkTwiceMTG. We have a lot of great rewards tiers. We have an open $30 Agent of Bolus tier that lets you work one-on-one with me for a deck for Commander Versus. You can also do anything between $30 and $1. Our $1 tiers are Augur Bolus tier. Early access to the show, access to our Discord channel, which is great, and a pair of Ollie and Justin tokens. Now, speaking of Patreon, we do have a new patron that we want to thank, Radil. Thank you very much for your support. And we have a little announcement about our Animal of the Week from Discord. Going into the end of this year, going into next year, we're going to kind of be changing how we do this. Because as it turns out, you guys don't get new animals every week.
We've been doing it all wrong.
Well, we tried something for a little while. And we kind of ran out. So what we're going to be changing it to, we still want to support the animals and love on the animals. So instead, we're going to be changing it to an animal picture of the week. That way, if your animal has the best picture, you can be selected multiple times. Because what we ended up happening is some of you post more pictures than others, and it's like, well, we've already picked Edison a bunch of times. We've wanted to pick Edison a bunch of times. We had to pick him once. We've already picked Laverne. We want to pick Laverne again. We've already picked, I don't know, I'm thinking any other animals that I'm thinking of. But now, Ollie, go ahead.
But now we can pick the same animal multiple times, depending on the art.
Yes.
Naya, Gideon, Maggie, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe anything.
Yeah. Any animal. The cutest you can make it, that gives you your chance to have the animal picture of the week. And that also allows us, if we have a specific picture, that way we can kind of tweet it out and say, this is the Discord animal picture of the week. And then give you a shout out if possible. So that's going to be our plan going forward. Does that sound good, Ollie?
Sounds amazing.
Great. All right. In that case, we want to give a special thanks to our graphic designer, Amber West. You can find her work at amberwestdesign.com. We also want to thank our director and producer, John Choi. He's the man behind the curtain, although he was in front of the curtain at SCGCON. A lot of you guys got to interact with him. Yep. And of course, we want to thank our Agent of Bolus producers, Daniel Hunt and Matt Lindell. Thank you guys so much for your support. We could not do the show without you. This week, say the true MVP.
Yeah, I was yawning. The true MVP.
Okay.
And Justin, I love you.
I love you too. And Maggie.
And Maggie.
Mostly Maggie. But you too.
It's okay. It's okay.
You understand.
This is where we say, good night, America. Good night, Australia. Good night, Japan. And Africa and France. And Southwest Asia.
Oh, wow, not Southeast. That's throwing shade.
That's it.
All right. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse next week. Catch you guys then.